So, one of the things that people are always talking about when they're considering stepping out into business, being an entrepreneur full time, leaving their job is always around insurance. That is always at the top of a lot of people's minds. Well, guess what? Today we are super excited because we're going to be tackling all of your insurance questions. And specifically, we're slanting this conversation to our entrepreneurs and our small business owners. But guess what? If you're hanging out here, any and all of your insurance needs are going to be met as we talk to the founder of Maximus Insurance. We're going to get right into it after this quick intro. Don't you move. You're listening and watching the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Charvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Charvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. We are totally excited to have everyone that is joining us and coming on in on YouTube and over on Facebook, a couple different places on Facebook, LinkedIn. We're glad to have you as well. Certainly Charvette.com if you are watching or listening from Charvette.com, and Twitch and Twitcher and all of that, and our podcast audiences over on Apple Podcast and over on you can listen to from iHeartRadio, Spotify, so all of the places. So we're really excited if you are listening, one of those in the listening audience. We appreciate you as we have this great conversation, episode 722. You heard that correctly. 722 is the episode. And I'm telling you what, it's going to be amazing as we are going to be chatting today, specifically for our business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs. But we got a little bit of everything tossed in here as we talk about insurance. V Mosby is with us. She's going to be coming up to the mic momentarily. Hello, comedian Wendy Lee. Thank you for greetings from outer space. Hey there. Hey, listen, Betty Jean Stanley Mitchell is going to be in the audience. Glad to have you. Deborah and Kim over on YouTube holding it down as always. Thank you so much. So let me tell you about my guest coming up, ready to come up and chat right now. And again, if you are just coming in, and you might be a current business owner, you might have, again, any type of insurance question, I want you to share this broadcast, tag a friend or a bestie or a colleague who you think could use this information. Go ahead and tag them in as we start getting into this conversation. Let's talk insurance. Here, episode 722 on the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. If you are watching from YouTube and you like this content, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, and let us know that you stopped by. Hey, over on YouTube, Ayana, thank you so much for being here. Let's go ahead and get into it because, listen, with over 2 decades of experience in the insurance industry, Vinara Mosby has honed her expertise to cater specifically to the evolving needs of Virginia's mature population since 2009. However, her impressive track record includes enrolling over 600 individuals in various insurance plans. I am one of her enrollees. Listen, ranging from Medicare Advantage, the prescription drug plan, to Medicare Supplemental, life, individual health insurance. She is amazing with helping you select and navigate dental, vision, hospital plans, all of that for comprehensive coverage. And beyond enrollment, she also extends her assistance to guiding clients through 401k rollovers, really demonstrating her commitment to their financial well-being. Again, we are excited to have Vinara with us, coming up to the mic live on the Charlotte Metro Radio Show. Put your virtual hands together as she comes to the stage. Hello, hello, V. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing well. So I definitely want to jump right on in and have this conversation. And so, where did entrepreneur start for you? Like, this is not where you started. Like, take us back to like what was your first kind of entrepreneurial endeavor?
Well, thank you again for having me, Sharpette.
Yes.
This is absolutely a pleasure. I think it began when I was a kid.
Mm.
Father used to take my brother and I to it was a candy store called Chase E. Bauer. It was off of Main Street. It was in one of those beautiful brick buildings now. They have their apartments. And he would buy us candy. We would take the candy to school, sell the candy. Well, my brother didn't last long for my brother, but it became a little business for me. Not realizing that that was going to be the um catapult me into what I became later on in life.
Yeah.
But I do believe subliminally that is where it all began for me.
Wow. And then from there, where did the entrepreneurial journey take you?
Well, so every parent's dream is for that child to go to college, right?
Yeah.
My father's was no different than anybody else. So I went to VCU, didn't work, college didn't work for me. I began to work. I liked working. I eventually enrolled in cosmetology school and I became a
Ah,
licensed professional cosmetologist. I did that forever. Um we had many insurance agents that would always come into our salon at the time. I would always
mm,
get a policy and then I would always cancel it. I had a couple friends of mine to come in and say you should do insurance, and I was like, So at that time, you're thinking that working 40 years or 20 years at a job is a very long time. So
mhm,
like I'm not gonna do hair for the rest of my life. So yes, now's the time for me to figure out what I'm going to do next. And also I want to learn more about why I cancel those policies all the time. So
mm.
I took my test. I was working full time doing being a cosmetologist, working with 5 days a week, 10 plus hours a day.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so which means I took my test. I took my test about 7 times before I actually passed. Um, Yep, came very close multitude of times, but I actually once I passed it, then I became a agent for doing Aflac. Um, didn't like Aflac. I did not like cold calling. I don't like knocking on doors. Well, the opportunity for doing Medicare came about in 2005, and that is when I really began that journey. We
Mhm.
had there was if everybody I know remembers the crash, the recession of 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody, Susan Orman and every financial advisor was advising people not to get their hair done. So as that business was slightly going down, I had my insurance business that was still resilient regardless of a recession. And I was still working doing that business. In 2011, I decided to move my salon home. And 2015, I opened my agency. It was just me for a while, and then I started wanting to add people to my agency.
Yeah.
One of my really great friends, he is my first agent. His name is Eric Wade. Shout out to him. He said, I'll work with you. I'll work with
Wow.
and he was my first agent, is my first agent underneath my agency, Maximus Insurance Services. And we've been rocking and rolling. So now, present day, we have 10 agents um, with our agency doing what I do, Maximus Insurance Services, LLC. So we have a foundation of Medicare, but we do all different types of insurance to include life insurance, health insurance, disability, and more.
I love that. Thank you for taking us down that journey. And this is March, which is Women's History Month. And
Mhm.
listen, you are a part of Women's History, so we salute you
Thank you.
for building, jobs and all in our community. And so this topic, I gotta tell you, like literally, there are so many people who are interested in stepping into entrepreneurship, or they are currently entrepreneurs working full time somewhere else, but wanting to step out. And the one thing that they feel is a hindrance. And the one thing that is a stop for a lot of people is, what am I going to do around health insurance? What am I going to do around that? So before we get to that, can you share a little bit about why, all insurance is really important? So you even mentioned, going through being in the recession, and the insurance didn't die down because we got to have it, right? So why is insurance of any kind important?
Well, insurance is a financial plan. Is your financial plan's safety net, right?
Mm-hmm.
It protects you. It protects your family for any unforeseen events that may take place. You have homeowners insurance in case your house just so happen catches on fire, and it could be something electrical like a storm. I've seen it happen. Your house burns up, so now you have homeowner insurance to replace that. Would you be able to replace your home if your house caught on fire? No. Will you if things inside your home? No. Would you even be able to pay for rent somewhere if your home caught on fire? No. So insurance, it may seem expensive, but it's only expensive until you need it. Once you need it, you'd be glad to pay that premium, whatever that premium is. Your car insurance protects you for your car insurance. So in case you go out and hit somebody by mistake, because it's an accident, it's just that, an accident. It protects you, and therefore you don't have to pay for your car and the other person's car. It protects your health. Disability, it protects your paycheck. We get insurance for our phones. We get insurance for items that a TV or small items that we purchase off of Amazon. I'm an Amazon person. Sorry.
Yeah, me too.
We pay insurance. We have travel insurance. Now we got pet insurance. Insurance protects us.
Yeah.
From this, it carries the risk and or the load that we will never carry, or most of us won't carry or can't carry.
Well said. Well said. And so I feel like that's a really great place to level set. And so why do you think aspiring entrepreneurs have such a fear about paying for health insurance, which is kind of the bulk of our conversation today?
The cost. The cost. So if you was a W-2 employee, your employer contributes 50% or more to your health insurance, right? So let's say for a person who is in their 50s, their premium in today's world would be about $900, $900 flat if they didn't get no subsidy or anything like that. So just imagine you having to pay $900 out your pocket. No one wants to do that, because now we like to live life, right? So we like to go out and eat. We like to drink good water. We like to have a good time, go out and just live life, So paying $800 out of your pocket, that's not something people want to really do. Okay. I believe if an entrepreneur, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always paid for my benefits ever since I started doing this. So if anybody wants to become an entrepreneur, I always say do it. Don't worry about benefits. Benefits is it should be the least of your worry, because you can get benefits, and no matter, it's just a matter of finding the right person, such as myself or anyone about my agent, that can help you navigate through that process of finding the best benefits to cover you.
Yes. And let me say this too, as perhaps a mindset shift. Because what I don't hear people say is, oh, well, I can't if I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I can't get a new car. Or if I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I can't get like, people don't equate, like, the health insurance is another bill. However, your goal is that the money that you make in your business will help you cover your bills, and plus some. You want profit too. And so I'm hopefully the goal of this show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And so even if this conversation just influences someone's thought process around, okay, health insurance is a bill, I'm going to generate revenue in my business to be able to cover that. But there are options. And so can you talk specifically around entrepreneurs? Because when the market exchange and all of that, so let's talk about some options of what people can be looking at if they're saying, okay, what are my options in the healthcare space?
Well, we live in the state of Virginia. So Virginia now has its own marketplace, the Virginia marketplace. So you could potentially qualify for what we call a subsidy. A subsidy is a tax credit that is given to you to help offset the cost of your health care. So how does that help you? That $800 premium that I said before, you may only have to pay $400 of it, and then get a subsidy, to pay the remaining amount, or just depending on your income, depending on what you file, how much you
Mhm.
file, how much you tell the government that you make. It's based off of that. It's not based off of what you know you've made. So you may say, well, I profited $1,000 this week, $1,000 next week, so $8,000 this month. Yep.
Mhm.
You also have expenses that come out there, but that you do not file that whole $8,000. You may very well file 1,000 of that dollars, 1,000 of those dollars, which in turn may qualify you for a subsidy.
Great. So they're looking at not just the revenue, they're taking out and accounting for that. As a business owner, you have expenses. So we're not going to look at this expense part that you had to pay. We're going to account the what was left from that.
Exactly.
And also, can you talk about, because mine has never, you have been my insurance broker
For
since
12
I've been in it.
years.
Yeah, in these internet streets. For those that are new to me, I'm Charvette Mitchell, the host of the show, founder of Mitchell Productions, and I've been a full-time entrepreneur since February 2nd, 2018. So I'm going into my 7th year. And
Yes.
My premiums have never been $800. And
No.
so and I make profit and generate revenue, 6-figure revenue in my business. And so just FYI around that. And so and listen, I'm seeing a great comment over on YouTube. Keep sharing the message. We get what is valuable. Thanks for that great message. Thank you, Carlithia, over on YouTube, and Kim and Deborah over on YouTube. So have the conversation with someone like you. Because a lot of times people just don't know, or they're thinking, yeah.
People don't know, and people always want to do things themselves. People think, oh,
Mm.
I can do this myself. I can go onto the marketplace and do this myself. Yep, you surely can. But I know the questions to ask. I'm not going to answer. I'm going to ask particular questions or specific questions to get specific answers. So that is why contacting an agent is always best for you. It's
Yeah.
it's not a bad thing. And even if you have to pay the agent, well, you pay for your dinner. Oh,
Right.
difference.
Right.
I'm saying we are worth a man is worthy of that hire. We are
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of times related to this, there's not an out-of-pocket payment to you
oh,
for this particular, for health insurance. Right.
that's right. Absolutely.
Great. And so what coverage areas, because I know we have people that are listening from all over. Shout out to Richmond, Virginia, East Coast, West Coast, where who can you actually serve?
So we are licensed in 9 states.
Right.
Mississippi, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, of course, Virginia, West Virginia, District of Columbia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania.
All right, there you go.
Or to our was it portfolio, I guess.
Yes.
We're going to be adding more states.
All right. I am loving this. If you are enjoying this conversation, picking up nuggets, just type nugget in the chat. Just type nugget in the chat, or throw up some hearts as we are here. Vinara Mosby.
Yes.
Vinara Mosby. V, we call her V. I'm so used to saying V.
Yes, everybody calls me V, so just call me V. It's
We
so
can say just V, because that's what I'm used to saying, V. Maximus Insurance. And so so I love this. And so if there is someone who's saying, okay, well, I'm currently a small business owner and I don't have insurance, do I have to wait for an enrollment time? How does that work if there's someone that's a business owner and they're like, okay, I'm ready to get insurance and get coverage?
Well, 2 things. You can wait for the marketplace to open. You can apply through the shop, which you could potentially get a subsidy. But if you don't want to wait for then you can go off the marketplace, where you probably will not get a subsidy. you would pay a higher premium. Your copay is going to be higher. Your co-insurance is going to be higher. Your deductible may be higher, but you can also get insurance if you at least have one employee off the market.
Okay. Great. So we've been really kind of having the conversation. So there's options if you are a solopreneur. And so now you actually kind of stepped into another area that I hadn't thought that we would discuss, but I think this is a good point. So for those that have employees, one or two, or growing a team, I know sometimes people feel like, it's hard to think about growing a team because maybe I can't offer insurance to employees. When should people kind of be thinking about, or any tips you would have people think about that want to be able to offer insurance to their employees?
First of all, think about your budget. Think about your budget, because here in the state of Virginia, if you're offering your employees insurance, then you're going to have to contribute at least 50% to their coverage. You have to consider, do you want to include their family? Once that process happens, they're going to give you, you're going to have to do a census of your employees. Then that is information, all types of information the insurance company gets from you, the employer, to give a more accurate quote for you, the employer.
Got it. All right. So there is that. Again, thank you for those that are tuning in. We see you coming on in. And I love all of the coverage areas. So if someone is listening and saying, okay, I'm in her coverage area, how can they work with you? Because I know the exchange period is gone, but I think definitely having some conversation with you, because there are other things that you offer as well.
That's correct. So yes, I do. I offer life insurance, health insurance, of course, disability. Disability is extremely important. It's extremely important to me because we foundationally work with Medicare or older, well, not just older seniors, but Medicare recipients. They're not all older people. There are a lot of people who are under the age of 65 that are disabled based off of are disabled because of a disability, because they cannot do at least two of their activities of daily living, which could be something as simple as somebody did not take their blood pressure medication, having a heart attack and or a stroke, or somebody falling and injuring their back, cannot go back to work, or things like that. And these are young people. So not everybody who has Medicare is old. So we do disability. We also do 401k rollovers. You have a lot of people who are leaving their job, and then they have money that's left at their job. What do they do with that money? We do fixed and variable annuities at our agency, and fixed, variable, and index annuities, along with IULs, which is our universal life policies and whole life policies. So there are all types of ways that we can roll your money over to protect it, and so that it lasts longer for you in the very long run. You can get in contact with me first. My website is www.maxamus.insure. My phone number, my email address is VEE, so that's Victory Edward at maxamus.insure. My phone number is 804-537-2744.
All right. And we have the information right here on the screen. So if you are watching, you can screenshot. If you are listening, look down below in the show notes. And we have these information down there, and website and all of that, so that you can reach out. And so I'm glad that you actually brought up 401k rollovers, because with the topic being, hey, business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs, let's talk insurance. A lot of times if people have been in a job and they're now branching off to be a small business owner on their own, there's 401k, or there's 401k, sometimes multiple, because they were in different places. And so let's talk a little bit more about that, and about the options, because I was surprised when I left corporate America, that I had some different options of what I can do with that money. So what are options, and what are things that you work through with people on 401k rollovers?
So we, like I said just now, we do a lot of annuity rollovers. We like the fixed annuities. We also like one of my colleagues do variable annuities, and we do index annuities. They are safe places. They are very safe places to hold your money. If you leave your money at your former employer, you're paying fees that you don't even realize that you're paying on that money. So as your money might creep up, you're steadily paying fees. So we encourage you to move it, have it in a safe, move it from there, still have it in a safe place. When you think about the crash, most insurance companies didn't crash. Only one. And no, that was the one that was insuring those mortgages. So they are very safe places. Also think about the lottery. Where do you think the lottery is being held?
Okay.
No, where do you think the lotteries are being held? They are held in an insurance pot, and as a matter of fact, an annuity.
Mm.
Because when they ask you, do you want to annuitize it? Right?
So let's, because some people might not know. I love this conversation. So, because somebody might not know what that means when they might assume, okay, 401k rollover. I'm going to take the money that was in the 401k. I'm going to go put it somewhere else. But can you explain what an annuity is related to a 401k rollover, like specifically what it is?
It's an insurance product. It's offered through an insurance company. They have a floor where you would not lose any money, and they have a ceiling. You may not gain as much as you would with a variable annuity. You may not gain as much as you would with stock markets, but you will not lose your money. So when everything be crashing down around you, your annuity is safe. They
And
invest in safer. They invest in safer stocks, bonds, and things of that nature.
and an annuity, a lot of times when people hear that, that means you're getting payment.
You could.
Um,
Depends on
mhm.
how, that depends on how you set it up. Yes.
Okay.
It depends on
So,
how you set it up. You get an interest rate. They pay you way more than what the bank pay you. So yeah.
all right. So have a
Yeah.
conversation. So yeah, definitely. If you're in a space of, oh, I have, and this does, you don't have to be a business owner or an entrepreneur for this conversation. If you just had a 401k that you were like, hey, I didn't know what to do with it, I left it, or I found out it's there and I need to do something, connect with Vina Mosby, Maximus Insurance. Information is on the screen. If you're listening, look down below in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, look down below in the show notes, and you can have all the connection points right there. I'm telling you, wow. And so, when did you fall in love with helping clients with Medicare Advantage and the prescription drug plans? And because I know that's like bread and butter for you. When did you fall in love with that population?
Oh my! When did I fall in love with that? Doing that. Well, because it allowed me to be my own agent, my
Mm,
own boss, where I did not have to have anybody else to pay me. Where I got paid directly from the insurance company. I had nobody to take anything from my commissions. My commissions were my commissions. That
mhm,
is when that was really where it began, because now I said, well, okay, because insurance in it of itself is a really huge industry, and you have different ways that you can go in it. And I tried different ways and they didn't work for me, but this one did.
mhm,
Um, and then so once I figured that part of this whole puzzle, then when I met my clients,
mm,
at all of my clients, they needed help.
yeah.
They needed help. I met people who um they lived off very little income, less than
Mm,
$1,000. They did not know that they could qualify for extra help to pay for their prescriptions. They did not know that they could potentially get Medicaid. They did not know that they qualified or they could even enroll in one of these Medicare Advantage plans that could give them the extra benefits, such as the dental, the vision, the hearing, the over the counter. Now those benefits have really imploded, but they didn't know that they could get those. They didn't know, they didn't understand what Medicare was, how Medicare
mhm,
worked. They just knew that they had to get it. That's all they knew. They knew
mhm,
they had to get it. They didn't understand none of that stuff. So being able to, I've always wanted to be a teacher. That
yeah.
I've always wanted to be a teacher. That I've always wanted to do is be a teacher ever since I can remember. And this allows me to be able to teach people how to get their benefits, how to use their services. We do all different types of things, such as bingos. We do Medicare 101s. We do any kind. I do type Instagram talk.
Yes.
Instagram lives, just to give information to people. So, because that is what I really love to do, is
Oh
help
my goodness.
people how
And,
to use their benefits.
and you got a testimonial here, Betty J. Mitchell, who happens to be my mother. She really helped me, and like literally, and I think this conversation is great for those of us who also, so if you're here, like I'm a business owner, I was here for that part of the conversation. But if you have a parent, that is in that age bracket, and like you're saving them real dollars, like some cases hundreds of dollars a month.
One of my first members, she wasn't my first, but she was one of my first members. I never forget. When I first started doing this, we did a church senior center. It was a church right beside the mosque, and I had a lady come to me. She said, "You might want to talk to my daughter." Really low voice, really low. She was probably in her 80s at that time, late 70s, early 80s. And she was in her 80s, as a matter of fact, at that time. She was paying $300 and some odd dollars to a carrier for her Medicare supplemental plan, because that's what all she had. That's what she had.
Mm.
So I met with her daughter. Of course, since by now she lived to be 100 years old. So, but she passed on. But just imagine how much I've saved her every month. She was paying $300 some odd dollars, which went up every year. So by the time she got well in her 90s, she would have been paying $400 every month for her care. And she went to the doctor. She didn't go to the doctor but so often.
And after working with you, where did that $300 to $400 come down? What did that come down?
Into her pocket. That was $300 that went back into the household.
So zero. Okay. So zero. So she went from $300 to $400 to zero for that. I just want you to hear that. Listen, we got another question. Maxine said, what about 403B accounts? Do you have any thing to do with that?
Roll those over as well.
Okay.
Yep.
So there you go. Those can be a part of a rollover as well. And some of the sounds like the same annuity options and all of that.
Absolutely.
Great. One more time, give your coverage, because I see different people popping in. Hey, we see you all coming in. Your coverage states. So for those that are like, I want to talk to her, what again are the coverage states for your insurance company?
Mississippi, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, of course, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania.
All right. And right on the screen, if you're looking as contact information, screenshot that, or down below in the show notes. If you're listening to the podcast, look down there. If you're on YouTube, look down there. Also subscribe to our channel while you are here. Oh my goodness, our time is like flying by. And so I want to congratulate you for being a published author, coming up positioned to pivot. So yeah, and book collaboration. So that's going to be out available April, and shipping, all of that. And so I know you talk a little bit about your journey in that book, and really some pivots that you made, and just really personal story that you share. So shout out for that. How does it feel writing in a book?
Surreal.
Yeah.
It's a very, 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 very surreal moment. I think when we started that journey, I was like, it didn't register. I just know that I had this assignment that I had to do, and I had to figure out, because this came through my busy season. So I had to figure out, how am I going to sit down and pen these words on paper? What is it that I want to talk about? I had no idea. Even when you gave me ideas, I still just, nothing really resonated. Nothing really, really huge resonated. And then, then you said something about something that was very difficult for you, or something. I forgot exactly what you said. Then I figured out how I could write about the passing of my father, which was by far the hardest thing I really ever had to deal with ever in my entire life. So when I did sit down, it was still difficult, because then I wasn't sure what I wanted to share. about that journey because there's so much that I could have shared.
Yeah.
I took out some of the most important things that that abled me, that actually really was instrumental in me pivoting to where I am today. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. Awesome.
thank you. I really, yes. Yes.
Awesome. So if you're following V, you can pre-order a copy. Y'all pre-order thousands and thousands and thousands. So you can pre-order from V. And again, this segment, business owners, aspiring entrepreneurs. I just want to loop back. Let's talk insurance. That's what we've been doing for the last 35 minutes. But if you are at a place of I'm looking at moving out on my own, and the insurance has been literally the one thing, and because I hear it over and over again, if you're in coverage areas with V Mosby, have a conversation, schedule a conversation so that you know your options, and it may not be as daunting as you think. The other mindset shift I would have you have is your business. The plan is for your business to generate revenue to cover all of your bills and profit. So that is the mindset that you want to have going into this, is that I'm going to make money and speak to your tax person. But in cases your premium that you pay for insurance, your out of pocket is an expense. So talk to your accountant. This is not, but talk to your accountant based on how you are doing your taxes and all of that. Then even what you're paying is considered an expense. So
absolutely.
All right. I know I wanted to say that. We want to put the disclaimer out there. Talk to your accountant because I don't want to.
But never ever allow insurance and or business to follow your dreams. If you believe in what you believe in and you want to do what you want to do, it's all going to come because your mindset is going to change. I want to make this happen. And when you focus on that, the money is going to come. And in turn, you're going to end up paying doing your benefits. So insurance is a huge, huge part, because also not only do you have to get life insurance, life insurance, health insurance, but you need liability insurance. So if you have a business, if you have a building, you're going to have to get liability insurance for that building. So just depends. I have to get E&O insurance for what I do. You may have to get some type of E&O insurance for whatever it is that you do. So do not stress about that. Just follow your dreams and live them.
All right, there you go. I think that's a great ending there. The goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And V Mosby, what continues to influence you? And motivate you.
Motivate me. Oh, my grandkids.
Oh, yes.
My grandchildren. I have 4 grandchildren, and every time I see them, I say, this is why I do what I do. Yeah. So because I want them to see that you can work and you can have and you can become and you can do. And, sky is really the limit of what you want to do. So, yes, I want to continue to be a mentor and a model for them.
Yeah. Well, thank you for kicking off Women's History Month with us here on the Charlotte Metro Radio Show. I think you're a great example, and thank you for being just an amazing person that literally saving people. Definitely. I personally know people you save hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So thank you for the work, and thank you for being my insurance broker as well. All right. Thank you. All right. Wow. I know this segment, you need to send this to someone. Easiest way is charvette.com. That's the simplest way, because you see the full blog post. You'll see where you can listen to the show, where you can watch the show. We have V's contact information links there. So charvette.com is where you can send people to. You can also share the video for YouTube or wherever you're watching. Click share and share it with a friend. And it is a wrap. Thank you so much for being here in the audience. Listen, my mom is saying reach out to her. No joke. That's not a planted thing. It's a real hundreds of dollars saved in that space. So we trust that you gained information from this, and I know that you did. I think the main thing is awareness, and that you do have options. Again, entrepreneurs, small business owners, You have options. The plan is that your business will generate, and this is the mindset shift. Your business will generate revenue that's going to cover all of your expenses, and your insurance is just another one of your expenses. All right. We'll see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.